It's that time of the week where we get to talk about brand new VR games coming out this week, new games coming out next week, and of course some of that juicy VR gaming news. Just a little heads up, I did make a roundup video from my Gamescom visit, which is like 20 plus games that I went sort of like hands-on. It's kind of a lot of the stuff that's coming out of the back end of this year. So if you're interested in that, I did make a video a couple of days ago. I'll make a clickable link up here. And of course, just visit the channel if you want to check out some other cool coverage as well. But before we dive into this, why not ask like one little tiny favor, mate? If you wouldn't mind just smashing that like button and of course subscribing, as we're on our road to 50k. We're getting bloody close now. Other than that though, let's dive into new VR games. Kicking it off, we have Trackcraft making its way to the main store. This is a MR focused game, but it does have some VR moments in there as well. This is actually a really freaking solid game. If you like mixed reality games and you like racing games, this one's going to be for you. You can literally build tracks right around your room and race them. But they also have something else that they're doing that's pretty damn cool as well, which is co-location. You can actually jump in with a friend if they own a Quest as well and play this game together in real time in mixed reality. Very cool experience. I highly recommend that you try this one if you can. And past that, there's just a ton of extra cool things that go in with this game as well to make it just freaking top notch. Even racing the cars yourself, and it just gets kind of wild. This is actually a dope game. I think they've covered pretty much all the areas that could make this dope. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, go and dive in and check this out this weekend. Next up, Fracked. Well, it's made its way to the fracking Quest, which is just amazing. It's been on every single other platform, and now it's finally made its way to Quest as well. Now, I will say, just a little disclaimer to this game, it does feel ever so slightly dated at this point, but nonetheless, it's still a very solid game that has some very fun mechanics in it. Not the longest of games, but if you dive into this, I think you're going to have a pretty fracking good time still. I'm just saying that because I can beat the YouTube algorithm by saying swears without actually saying them. But yeah, if you're interested in this, it'll be like skiing and doing some other cool things as well in this game, as well as just kicking the absolute living snot out of stuff, climbing up things and doing a bunch of cool action-based things. Like I said, it is a very cool game, but it does feel slightly dated, so just be aware when you go into this, it's not exactly going to feel like the most modern game, but it still is a good one at its core. VR gaming news. Not a busting amount of VR gaming news today, but we do have some pretty big bangers, and let's kick that off with Behemoth. Behemoth, we have just been introduced to the brand new Behemoth, and this bad boy is looking freaking terrifying. Now, this one is as tall as like a tower block, and you have to scale all the way up this thing, taking around about 20 minutes to even scale this thing if you absolutely like nail it. So that just goes to show the actual size of this freaking Behemoth. Honestly, this game is shaping up to be absolutely incredible. As you know, I've gone hands-on with this game before. There are videos on the channel if you want to learn a little bit more about the game in its entirety. But yeah, this is shaping up to be an absolutely incredible experience. Now, we've seen what this looks like on PSVR 2, we've seen what this looks like on PCVR, and now I'm just kind of eager to see what this is going to look like on Quest. Please don't be a letdown. But either way, for me, this game is just shaping up to be an absolute banger. Like I said, I've been hands-on with this. I know how good this is, and now seeing these other levels come up as well, it's looking more and more exciting. And bear in mind, 2 Behemoths. Yes, that's right so far, and there's going to be a bunch more, I think, by the time we get to see this game come to release, which is only going to be a couple of months away now. So I'm pretty damn excited for Behemoth. Let me know if you're hyped about it in the comments down below. Next up, Batman Arkham Shadow. Well, I got to go hands-on with this while I was at Gamescom, and I've played about 30 minutes of the early part of the game. This one actually just really blew me away. Now, I've done a full video breakdown on this if you want to check it out on the channel. It's literally the last video that came out if you want to learn a ton about this game, but I'll briefly tell you a little bit in this as well. The combat feels really freaking good. It's very rhythm-based. Some people have sort of pulled apart the way that the sort of combat works and have complained about it, but I will say this, you really need to try it to understand how well it works, because on the surface, when you're just looking at something flat, it doesn't really work, but when you're in the game, it feels very fluent, fast-paced, and you do just feel like bloody Batman while you're doing it. I think this is going to be one of those very polarizing games, because a lot of flat gamers are really angry that this is in VR, and a lot of VR gamers are angry because it's exclusive to Quest, not coming to PCVR and not coming to PSVR 2. So it's kind of one of those polarizing games that's getting people all riled up, but let's just be real, let's be happy about the fact that we've even got a Batman game, a fully fledged Batman game, and from the Arkham series coming to the Quest. I'm personally stupid excited about this, and after having played it, it's a freaking dope game. So yeah, stick around the channel, because I'm going to be playing this some more in the not too distant future. So keep your eyes peeled and locked in, and maybe even hit that subscribe. Coming up next week. Next week, we're going to kick it off with a new month, and I will actually have a video coming out that's going to be covering all of the games that are coming out next month. I think that should be coming out in the next couple of days, so keep your eyes on the channel for that. But we're going to kick this off with Dance, Dance, Dance. Yeah, I'm not much of a dancer, but nonetheless, if you want to play this in virtual reality, you can. So now there's a new dancing rhythm-based game that you can get into and play in virtual reality. I feel like it kind of says everything it needs to on the tin, so I need not talk too much about this game because I feel like it's fairly self-explanatory. Next up is Rampage Agent. Now, I needed to roll my R's to say that because it just sounds a little bit cooler. Basically, this is going to be like an Overwatchy type game in VR. Well, we've seen a bunch of those before, but this one does actually look kind of interesting. I will say it actually looks like one of the more polished versions of these types of games that we've seen recently. It has a very unique sort of like cel-shaded art style, which I kind of appreciate. Now, of course, I haven't tried this for myself, which is going to be really the deciding factor. And of course, the other deciding factor to these types of games are, well, will there be enough of an online presence on this game to keep it interesting? Unlike sort of flat gaming, you know, VR really does suffer when it comes to online gaming because really keeping an audience retention locked in, unless you're something like Gorilla Tag or Yeeps, is pretty dang hard. So with this, I don't know, we'll have to see if it stands the test of time. I'm pretty interested, but again, we'll have to wait and see. And of course, the biggest news of all, which I've just been keeping in my back pocket right to the last minute in this video, is the fact that Hitman has finally got a bloody release date. Yes, Hitman Reloaded is making its way to Quest 3 on September 5th. Yeah, I'm bloody excited. I'm a massive Hitman fan, and for me, I'm very, very interested to see how they've handled this. They're finally saying that they have fixed all the problems that we've had with Hitman coming to virtual reality in the past. I mean, you guys know, I'm sure, but when it came to sort of PS1, very janky. When it came to PCVR, pretty freaking janky. It kind of felt more like a tacked on mod than an actual game mode, whereas this is supposed to be built from the ground up for VR. We're talking dual wielding, we're talking actually properly choking people out. We're talking a very new stylistic look to the game, and I am really excited for this. So I'm hoping that this doesn't flop, and I'm hoping this isn't a bad game. I have personally not gone hands-on with this at all yet, but I really want to. So IOI, oh hello, please hit up your boy Rhys the King because I want to play it for the channel. Other than that, guys, that is going to do it for this week. A bit of a shorter one, but I think after sort of like all of that stuff going on at Gamescom and everything, this week is just one of those more quiet weeks. I can tell you though, after having looked into what's coming out next month, we got a pretty decent month of lineup, and of course, kicking it off at the beginning of the month with friggin' Hitman ain't a bad shout. So I'm excited. If let me know in the comments down below what you're going to play over the weekend. I love to know because maybe it will influence me to jump into one of those games as well. Other than that, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, smash like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care. Bye.